If you're turning 65 in 2026, this video is going to walk you through everything you need to know about enrolling in Medicare, step by step, so you don't miss any deadlines, overpay for coverage, or get stuck in the confusing maze that Medicare can be. A lot of people think it's as simple as just signing up when you hit your birthday, but there's actually a lot more to it. There are timelines, penalties, plan choices, and some new changes in 2026 that will make the process a little different than it was before. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to enroll, when to do it, what coverage to pick, and how to avoid some really expensive mistakes that most first-time Medicare enrollees make. Before we dive deeper, let me know in the comments, what's your age, and what state are you in? I love to see who's planning smarter out there and how these changes might affect you personally. Alright, let's get started. First, let's talk about timing, because that's one of the biggest parts of getting Medicare right. The time you enroll matters a lot. When you're turning 65, you get what's called your initial enrollment period. It's a 7-month window that starts 3 months before your 65th birthday, includes the month you turn 65, and extends 3 months after. So, for example, if you're turning 65 in August of 2026, your enrollment window opens in May and runs all the way through November. But here's the thing, if you wait too long, say, you don't sign up until after your birthday month, your coverage could actually be delayed. So even though you technically have 7 months, it's always smarter to enroll early, ideally in those first 3 months before your birthday month starts. Now, not everyone needs to sign up for Medicare right at 65. It depends on whether you're still working and have employer coverage. If you're covered by a large employer plan, meaning your company has 20 or more employees, you might not need to enroll in Medicare Part B just yet. You can delay it without any penalties, as long as your employer coverage is considered creditable. But if your company has fewer than 20 employees, you'll want to sign up for Medicare as soon as you're eligible, because Medicare becomes your primary insurance at that point. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming their employer coverage will protect them from penalties or late fees later. But Medicare has strict rules. If you delay without having creditable coverage, you can face a 10% lifetime penalty for every 12 months you waited to sign up for Part B. That means if you delay for 2 years, you'll pay 20% more for your Part B premium every single month, forever. That's why it's crucial to understand your situation before you make any decisions about delaying. Now, let's break down what you actually get when you enroll in Medicare. Original Medicare has 2 main parts, Part A and Part B. Part A covers your inpatient hospital care, things like hospital stays, skilled nursing facility care, and some home health services. Part B covers outpatient care, your doctor visits, preventive care, lab tests, x-rays, and durable medical equipment. Most people get Part A for free because they've paid Medicare taxes for at least 40 quarters, or 10 years, during their working life. But Part B does come with a monthly premium. In 2025, the standard Part B premium is around $185 per month, and that number could change slightly in 2026 based on inflation and Medicare's annual adjustments. However, if you're a higher income earner, you could end up paying more due to something called IRMAA, the income-related monthly adjustment amount. Medicare looks at your income from 2 years prior, so for 2026, they'll look at your 2024 tax return to determine if you owe extra. So if your income in 2024 was higher than $103,000 as an individual or $206,000 as a couple, you'll likely pay an additional amount on top of the base premium. Once you understand Parts A and B, the next step is to decide how you want to get your Medicare coverage. You have 2 main paths. You can stick with original Medicare and add supplemental coverage, or you can choose a Medicare Advantage plan, also known as Part C. Both have pros and cons, and it's really about what fits your lifestyle, budget, and health needs. If you choose original Medicare, you'll also want to add a Medigap plan, also called a Medicare supplement, to help cover what original Medicare doesn't. Because even though Part A and Part B cover a lot, they don't cover everything. There are deductibles, co-pays, and co-insurance that can add up fast if you get sick or need a lot of care. Medigap plans fill in those gaps, and there are standardized options like Plan G and Plan N that are the most popular. Plan G is the most comprehensive, covering almost everything except the small annual Part B deductible. Plan N is a little cheaper each month but includes small copays for doctor and ER visits. You'll also need to add a Part D prescription drug plan if you stay with Original Medicare, because Original Medicare doesn't include prescription drug coverage. The cost of Part D depends on which plan you choose and what medications you take, but on average, you'll see monthly premiums between $30 and $50. Now, if you prefer an all-in-one plan, you can choose a Medicare Advantage plan, or Part C. These plans are offered by private insurance companies approved by Medicare, and they combine your Part A, Part B, and usually Part D drug coverage into one plan. Some even include extras like dental, vision, hearing, or gym memberships. The big appeal of Medicare Advantage is that many of these plans have a $0 premium, meaning you don't pay anything extra beyond your Part B premium. But remember, there's no such thing as free coverage. With Medicare Advantage, you'll have copays and co-insurance as you use services, and you'll need to stay within a provider network, like an HMO or PPO, depending on your plan. One of the new changes coming in 2026 that you'll want to know about is related to how Medicare Advantage plans are being regulated. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, has introduced stricter rules for prior authorizations and network adequacy. That means insurance companies will need to provide quicker approvals and ensure better access to specialists. There's also more transparency now about out-of-pocket limits and how much you'll actually pay before hitting that maximum. These changes were introduced to help protect beneficiaries and prevent some of the issues people faced with denied care in the past. If you're finding this information helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We share important Medicare updates and guides every week. Now let's talk about how to actually enroll. There are a few ways to do it, and which one you use depends on your situation. If you're already receiving Social Security benefits before you turn 65, you'll be automatically enrolled in Medicare Parts A and B. You don't need to do anything. Your red, white, and blue Medicare card will arrive in the mail about 3 months before your 65th birthday, and your coverage will start on the first day of your birthday month. If you're not receiving Social Security yet, you'll need to manually enroll. The easiest way to do this is online at ssa.gov. The online application usually takes less than 10 minutes and doesn't require you to mail any documents or visit an office. You can also call Social Security or visit a local office if you prefer to do it in person. When you apply, you'll need some basic information: your date of birth, Social Security number, and employment history if you or your spouse had employer coverage. You'll also choose whether you want Part A and Part B right away or if you're deferring Part B because you're still working and covered through your employer. Once you're enrolled in Parts A and B, you'll receive your Medicare card in the mail. That's when you can start comparing your coverage options, whether you're going with a Medigap and Part D combination or a Medicare Advantage plan. This is the point where a lot of people feel overwhelmed, because there are literally hundreds of plan options, and they vary by zip code. But the key thing to remember is, there's no one-size-fits-all plan. The best plan for you depends on your specific health needs, your medications, your doctors, and your budget. Now, if you decide to go the Medicare supplement route, you'll have a one-time Medigap open enrollment period, a 6-month window that starts when your Part B becomes active. During those 6 months, you can buy any Medigap plan without having to answer health questions or go through medical underwriting. After that window closes, you can still apply, but insurance companies can deny you based on pre-existing conditions. That's why it's so important to get this timing right. If you go the Medicare Advantage route, your enrollment options are different. You can first enroll when you're new to Medicare, during your initial coverage election period. Then each year, you can make changes during the annual enrollment period, which runs from October 15th to December 7th. That's when you can switch from Original Medicare to Advantage, change Advantage plans, or move back to Original Medicare if you choose. There's also a new feature being rolled out in 2026 to simplify comparisons between Medicare Advantage and Medigap plans. Medicare.gov will now include more detailed cost calculators, showing average out-of-pocket spending estimates for both types of coverage. This tool is designed to help new enrollees see, in dollar terms, what each path might cost based on their health profile. Another update that's worth mentioning is that starting in 2026, the Medicare Part D prescription drug program will have an annual out-of-pocket cap of $2,000. That means once you've spent $2,000 on your medications for the year, you won't pay anything more out of pocket for covered drugs. This is a huge change, especially for people who take expensive medications, and it's part of the larger Medicare drug pricing reforms rolling out from the Inflation Reduction Act. Let's also touch on something that confuses a lot of people: the difference between enrolling in Medicare and retiring. You can enroll in Medicare at 65 even if you're still working, but you'll want to make sure you coordinate with your employer plan correctly. If you're covered under a spouse's plan, you'll need to check if that coverage counts as creditable for Medicare purposes. And if you're planning to retire mid-year, make sure your Medicare coverage begins as soon as your employer coverage ends, so there are no gaps. Another tip: keep an eye on your mail around the time you turn 65. You'll likely get a flood of Medicare advertisements from insurance companies. Some are legitimate, but many are just marketing materials trying to sell plans. Always go directly through official Medicare channels or a licensed broker who's independent, meaning they can show you all plan options, not just one company's. And remember, your Medicare choices are not set in stone forever. You can review and change your coverage every year during the open enrollment period if your needs change. The key is just to start off on the right foot, understand what you need, enroll on time, and pick the coverage that truly protects you. Now, one of the most common questions people ask is, what's the biggest mistake people make when turning 65? The answer is usually one of three things: missing their enrollment window, not understanding the difference between Medicare and employer coverage, or picking a plan based on premium alone without looking at total out-of-pocket costs. For example, a $0 Medicare Advantage plan might sound great up front, but if you have frequent doctor visits or ongoing treatments, those copays can add up to more than what a Medigap plan would have cost. So as you're planning for your 65th birthday in 2026, start early. Don't wait until the last minute. Get familiar with your options, understand your local plan choices, and think about what kind of healthcare flexibility you want. Do you want to be able to see any doctor that accepts Medicare nationwide? Then a Medigap plan might be better. Do you prefer one simple plan with dental and vision bundled in? Then a Medicare Advantage plan could work best for you. Also, don't forget about timing if your birthday falls early in the month. For example, if you turn 65 on July 1st, your Medicare coverage actually starts on June 1st, 1 month earlier. That can affect when you should apply, because your window also shifts a bit. And finally, always keep documentation. Save copies of any correspondence with Social Security or Medicare, as well as any proof of creditable coverage if you're delaying enrollment. That paper trail will protect you if there's ever a question later about whether you should have signed up sooner. By following these steps and staying informed, you'll set yourself up for a smooth transition into Medicare. And once you're enrolled, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing your healthcare is covered, no matter what 2026 brings. If you found this topic helpful, we've covered other related Medicare updates you'll see at the end of this video. Watch those next for deeper insights.